It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of June 27th, 1997. Only two of them this time around, because technically there's three movies, but we already looked at Hercules 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks from this episode, from this date that we're talking about, June 13th. If you want to go check that out, go check the corner there. But we only got two movies to look at today, but one of them is a big movie, and let's go ahead and get to that big movie, and that is John Travolta and Nicolas Cage in Face Off. And brace yourself for, if you thought The Lost World Jurassic Park was one of the great teaser trailers from 1997, here's another great one.
I've been chasing this guy ever since I joined the force. He has no conscience, and he shows no remorse. He's the mastermind behind numerous bombings and political assassinations. His felony list a mile long: murder, arson, kidnapping, terrorism, you name it. He's the most dangerous and brilliant criminal mind I've ever known. For years, I've been watching him, tracking him, studying his every move. I know his every mannerism, facial tick, gesture. I know him better than he knows himself. And now, after all this time, I finally figured out a way to trap him. I will become him.
John Travolta. Nicolas Cage. Face Off. From John Woo, the director of Broken Arrow.
I mean, that's really one of the greatest teaser trailers you'll ever see. I mean, it just looks like one shot, and you know that it has to be two shots because they got to get Nicolas Cage there at the end there. But that's a great teaser trailer, man. That's probably one of the greatest trailers I've ever seen that nobody ever really talks about. But let's talk about the movie that movie is selling. Of course, that is Face Off, and Face Off is the first major Hollywood film that John Woo got major creative control on. He had done a couple other films, specifically Hard Target. And, of course, this is a film that stars John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. It's interesting to see what this movie used to be before these people came together. This was supposed to be a Warner Brothers film at one point. Rob Cohen was supposed to direct the film. It was actually wanted to turn around because he left to do Dragonheart, and then John Woo became attached to it. And then they thought about all these different pairings for who they could get here. Like, we almost had a movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone were these two characters. Then there was also one when Harrison Ford and Michael Douglas is one of the producers on this, was going to be the pair in this. And then Alec Baldwin and Bruce Willis, who would later go on to work in Mercury Rising, which, needless to say, is not a good film, but they almost met it for the first time in this one. But it eventually went to John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Also, Johnny Depp was also interested. He wanted to play that role, but he passed on it after he read the script for it. So it eventually went to John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, and the results speak for themselves, man. I mean, this is pretty much what you can ask for in a movie like this, and then some. You get to see Nicolas Cage playing John Travolta, over-the-top, manic-like, and also John Travolta playing Nicolas Cage, in an over-the-top, manic fashion. And the results speak for themselves, man. This is a film that really holds up after all these years as one of the biggest, dumb, fun action movies you can ever see, man. And I mean, Travolta and Cage just work off each other so well. A great cast involved in this: Joan Allen, I almost forgot the names for a second. Gina Gershon, Dominique Swain, Nick Cassavetes, CCH Pounder, John Carroll Lynch, Margaret Cho, Thomas Jane. Just a good cast involved in this movie. Not everything about it works. If I'm being honest, Gina Gershon's character feels kind of pointless in this movie. Like, that whole subplot doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in this film. But you know what? Con Air had a lot of big errors to it in the story department, but it still made for a pretty badass movie. And man, what more can you say about this movie? It's a ton of fun, so over the top, so ridiculously fun. You see the doves in here, of course, which is the trademark of John Woo films. Really, what more do I got to say about this movie, man? This is just such a fun movie that's just so 90s, so ahead of its time, so just tons of fun, like so ridiculously stupid, but it just works because everybody is in on it. John Travolta and Nicolas Cage are having the time of their lives. just a great film. Please don't make a sequel to this. I know they're making a sequel now with the director of Godzilla vs. Kong, Adam Wingard, and it's going to be a sequel to the original film, but really, please don't do that. Like, please let this be one of those movies where you talk about doing a sequel and then it just completely goes by the wayside. I hope that's the case. Please don't make a sequel to this, which doesn't really matter because they're going to make it anyway, so... And I'm guaranteeing it's not going to be anywhere near as good as this film, but... Again, what more do I have to say about this movie? Face Off, just good fun, man. Just a fun movie all the way through. If you haven't seen it, you're really missing out on something really great. So yeah, that's Face Off for you. So let's go ahead and move on to the last movie we have here, Head Above Water, with Cameron Diaz and Harvey Keitel.
Cameron Diaz, Harvey Keitel, Craig Sheffer, and Billy Zane in a comedy with some unexpected twists. Natalie is very hard to resist. In fact, everyone's trying to reel in her heart. Her husband.
We'll be back tomorrow around noon, and I'll give you my full attention.
Have fun.
The boy next door.
We've been like brother and sister our whole lives.
Suppose I could be jealous, but I'm not. You see, I'm very secure.
And her ex-lover.
You know, you really shouldn't be here. Don't let your curling.
And now, Natalie!
Get up. Kent!
Natalie's really in over her head.
Why did they try to remake Sibling Rivalry? I mean, I think this is literally the same plot as Sibling Rivalry. I mean, you have somebody who has sex with it. You have somebody who has sex with this person. They have an affair, and then while they're having sex, the guy ends up dying. And it's just like, that's literally the same plot as Sibling Rivalry, except that one was more over-the-top comedic, and this is more of a black comedy, but not really. I mean, I don't know. It's a film that really... I think it's mostly benefiting on the cast that it has here. It has a good cast to it. Harvey Keitel, Cameron Diaz, Craig Sheffer, Billy Zane. A pretty good cast overall here. And there are a couple of decent moments here and there that do make it kind of funny, but at the same time, not really anything too special or anything too intriguing. Like, I saw this a long time ago, and I don't remember hating it, but at the same time, I don't really remember anything that I really liked about it, honestly. I just thought it was a decent film. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't a great film either. It was a film that was mostly just kind of a similar premise to, like I said, Sibling Rivalry, but at the same time, at least in this movie, there's at least a couple of laughs I remember from this than I do in that movie, but I don't remember hating it, but I don't remember liking it either. I think it's just a movie that's just very, very mixed, to say the least. Nothing too crazy, nothing too spectacular, just fine for what it is. Maybe for a one-time watch, but I'll never watch it again, honestly. And so with that said, that wraps up another edition of Time About the Movies. When we meet next time, it'll be 4th of July weekend, 1997, with a couple of notable films, none bigger than Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith in Men in Black. We also have Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau in Out to Sea, Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Scott Bairstow and Devon Sawa in Wild America, and also Guantanamanera. I think it's one of the... It looks like it says Guantanamo, but it's like Guantanamanera. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but that's the last film that we have on here. And those are 4 films that we'll look at next time around. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the place on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And I will see you guys next time for another video. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. And until then, as always, take care.